Hey, we talked about a year ago about this lab-grown meat, and we talked about how expensive it was and that it was really cost prohibitive, but that at some point, lab-grown meat may be much less expensive. Dutch professor Mark Post is that scientist who made the first lab-grown beef burger. He believes so-called cultured meat could be the end of traditional cattle farming within just a few decades. A year and a half ago, there was the first taste of lab-grown beef burger. It passed most taste tests, but it cost about $250,000 for a quarter pounder. So it was not really a threat to real meat because it's so expensive. Now, after further development, Dr. Post estimates it's possible to produce lab beef for $80 a kilo, and that within years it'll be price competitive compared to normal meat. So in 2013, it cost $325,000 to make a lab-grown meat for a larger burger. Now the cost is $11 for a quarter pound lab-grown patty. This is such a drastic decrease in price. I get that this would be a huge job killer. Think about that, Lewis. If we get past sort of the ideological questions or concerns people may have about, wait, lab-grown meat, it's cultured from actual animal cells, but it's grown in the lab. If people were to accept that, right, this would be a very, very big job killer. But I wonder if, as we continue to explore the impact of the raising of meat, the economic, rather the climate impact of raising meat, I wonder if something like this could become a popular alternative.
I am all for it. And in our utopian society, this would be okay despite being a huge job killer. But that's another conversation. The carbon footprint here, I'm assuming, would be drastically lower, probably way more efficient, probably way cleaner, healthier. I don't think we would have as many outbreaks and health scares. I mean, this is the way to go, right?
Although there is kind of an ick factor for a lot of people, knowing that their meat was built molecule by molecule in a lab. Some people actually are more weirded out by that than by eating animals. Of course, there's people who don't eat animals because that's what weirds them out. To each their own, of course.
Eventually it's going to get to the point where this has been fine-tuned enough so that you will be able to create a Kobe beef fillet that would be indistinguishable from the real thing. It's going to happen eventually.
Wow. Yeah, and texture seems to be usually the final frontier, so to speak, in alternative meats or meat-like veggie items. And here, seemingly, that is not an issue.